Hi everyone. Today we're going to finish looking at the conditions that make life on Earth possible. And of course, those are the reasons why some scientists think that Earth is rare, which is the support for the rare Earth hypothesis. If you need to get a hold of me, my email address is on the screen, rcroppert@jcpsmail.org. Let's go ahead and dig in. All right, so we've talked about six other reasons thus far that Earth may be rare and that why life here may be unique. Reasons, of course, that we may be alone in the universe. Okay, so condition number 7 that makes Earth special is Earth has a protective magnetic field surrounding it. So if we look at this picture, our sun, like all stars, puts out all kinds of energy. And when we looked at the atmosphere and said that our atmosphere provided some protection from our sun, particularly from ultraviolet light, we hopefully realize that our sun is putting off lots of helpful things like light and heat, but it's also putting off some very dangerous things. And so, just like most stars, our sun has something called a solar wind. You may remember that from our reading. And the solar wind actually is a stream of charged particles that would strip away our atmosphere. So Earth's magnetic field is protective. It literally protects us. So if you've ever watched a compass needle point north, that is one effect that we can see of Earth's magnetic field. Now, Earth's magnetic field is generated by the motion of the inner core around the outer core. So of course, the interior, the inside of our planet, is very hot, almost the same temperature as the surface of the sun. But because our inner core is under so much pressure, it remains a solid. The outer core, on the other hand, is a liquid. So we're talking about liquid metal moving around solid metal, and that creates a magnetic field. Um, and I think that would about cover what I need you to know for this bit. So, this is a video that might help you sort of visualize what's happening at Earth's core. So, if we were to look, here we have that solid inner core, and it's incredibly hot. And if it is surrounded by a liquid, you can see that there's all this motion, and these are like little convection currents. Remember, hot rises, cold sinks? Well, that's the same thing that's happening around Earth's core. All right, condition number 8. Condition number 8. So this is sort of our final reason that we're going to discuss that maybe makes Earth rare. In other words, supports the rare Earth hypothesis. All right, number 8. Earth has organisms that can collect energy from the sun and turn it into food for food chains. So an organism, of course, is just any individual living thing. But we have a whole group of organisms that are able to collect energy from the sun and turn it into food. Now, some of you may already know that I'm talking about producers, and most producers are plants. So, any kind of plant that you can envision. Plants are mostly those green living things. Green because they contain chlorophyll. But a plant and a producer is, really the thing that sets them apart from animals is the fact that they can make their own food using sunlight and just raw materials from their environment. Of course, the process that they use to make their own food, we call that photosynthesis. And so plants make their own food using photosynthesis. Now, plants turn out to be the base of all food chains here on Earth. Without plants, there is no energy source for the other living things, like all the animals. And by animals, I mean insects and mammals and fish. Um, Everything relies on plants, either directly or indirectly, for their food. So plants turn out to be a big deal because they can collect this energy from our sun. So of course, we're talking a little bit about producers. It's hard for me not to mention consumers. And consumers are, quite frankly, any animal or any organism that has to eat something else, another organism, for it to have energy or food for survival. So, really, I show a bunch of carnivores here, but this would also include things like herbivores, which are plants that directly eat, or excuse me, animals that directly eat plants. Carnivores are, of course, the animals that eat other animals, but omnivores, which kind of do both, are also in this category. So all of these other things, all these consumers of all kinds rely on plants. And it's because plants are kind of magical. Plants are what allow life on Earth to be possible because they are the organisms that can collect that energy from our star and turn it into food for food chains. So keep this in mind. No plants, no herbivores. No herbivores, no carnivores. So all life here on Earth depends on plants to be able to make that food. We're going to stop here for today, and I hope to see you again soon.